We're talking about the real shit here.
These are films that were built in the lab, and there's a very specific moment in movie history, which is the 1990s to the early 2000s, where there were films that I swear to God were made in a lab merely so teachers could show them on days when they're hungover.
Sure.
And they're perfect for high schoolers because they're just witty enough that you'll have your colored curse word every now, right? Your bitch, maybe a fuck. And it's just pushy enough. And it has that early 2000s, late 90s thing where it's this sort of white savior complex. You know, this white guy comes into inner city neighborhoods and he saves these kids. And that's
And it's sports shit. For some
it's
reason, like the
sports.
sports shit. I thought,
Why
yeah,
sports
like
movies?
for some reason, that's like a school thing.
I don't know why, but it is. Absolutely.
Inspirational sports
Yep.
stories or whatever. It's like kind of like, okay, it's like,
But Hardball was an interesting choice. It's directed by Brian Robbins.
yes, that my favorite auteur, Brian Robbins. Yeah, I like he like directs like Good Burger and Norbit and all these like shitty
Norbit.
movies and stuff.
Yep. And Shaggy Dog, Meet
Yeah,
Dave.
like kids movies basically.
Maybe not technically Disney movies, but might as well be in the early 2000s Disney movies.
Good Burger is more like a Nickelodeon movie than
Well,
a Disney movie.
well, yeah,
It
but
is a Nickelodeon movie, but
I
yeah,
know it's a Nickelodeon movie, but it's the vibes.
90s kids movies.
And that's what Hardball is. Keanu Reeves, he's this bookie, this gambler. He's on hard times. And I never saw the first 30 minutes. They only showed the last 90 minutes of this film. So I don't know how the film starts. But you gather he's some sort of bookie. He's down on his luck. And for some reason, he has to coach this baseball team. I didn't get that part. I missed that part. I don't know why he has to coach this baseball team.
Maybe it's like a favor to someone or
I
something.
think so. It's some sort of favor to somebody to pay off some sort of debt or what have you. And of course, he comes in and he saves them. But really, they save
They
him.
saved him. Yes.
It has all of the cheesy moments that you remember from your high school movies. Just every single beat that you think would be hit is hit. And it's so strange because the pacing of this movie, even though this movie is almost 2 hours long, which I would argue is pretty long for
Ridiculous.
what I would put in the genre of the high school movie. I would say 90 minutes. That's really all you need for the high school movie. But at almost 2 hours, the pacing is some of the strangest pacing I've ever seen. It's as if this man, Brian Robbins, has consumed all of the media that is a high school movie and then just created a montage of scenes. Those moments you remember from like Rudy and A Beautiful Mind, October Skies, all those movies you watch in high school. It's as if it's all those just big moments just smashed together. There is no pacing to this movie. There's never a moment to anything to happen. It doesn't make any sense. Even though it's a baseball movie, they're almost never playing baseball for some reason. They're always sitting around
Cool.
talking about the baseball games that they
I'm
just
cool with
played
that.
or about
I'm
to
fine with that.
play. It's so odd. And there's all these big dramatic moments where the music's coming up and you're supposed to be crying and laughing.
Yes.
And that's like the whole movie. It just never stops. It's just like that time again and again. It's as if the movie Rudy, that moment where they're picking up, they're going, Rudy, Rudy. Like imagine that for 2 hours. I didn't know they made movies like this. I understand why they did. I understand why this movie exists. It works well for these kids because they watch the movie for better or worse. I don't think they necessarily like the movie, but they did watch the movie, which is at least something. But I would never have gone on my way to watch this movie. I probably would have never seen this movie if not for subbing at high school again. So I am very grateful that I
Cool.
got this really weird and strange opportunity.